But some things in America should be simple and straightforward. Perhaps the most important of those things, the most fundamental of those things, is the right to vote. The right to vote freely.
Make no mistake, this is not about one particular bill. This is political theater by and for Texas Democrats.
WFAA senior political reporter Jason Wiley is live in Washington, D.C. tonight. Jason, lawmakers met with Vice President Kamala Harris just a couple hours ago.
Yeah, Cynthia, right now there's really a sense of optimism here among Texas Democrats. Their first full day here in D.C., as you mentioned, and already they've had face-to-face meetings with the majority leader in the Senate, Chuck Schumer, Vice President Kamala Harris, and they're getting the attention that comes with it all. Late Tuesday afternoon, we watched as Secret Service escorted Vice President Kamala Harris inside to a private roundtable with the Texas Democrats.
And I know what you have done comes with great sacrifice, both personal and political.
That capped off a day of face-to-face meetings with federal lawmakers on Capitol Hill.
We are not here smiling. We are not spiking the ball. We are not saying that we are happy. In fact, we are sad for democracy in the state of Texas.
1,500 miles away, though, in the state of Texas, the House there could not gavel into session. No quorum, not enough members present, with a third of them, all Democrats, in D.C. indefinitely.
We denounce that decision to flee the state and to avoid voting on critical legislation that Texans desperately need and care about.
Democrats outnumbered in Texas and unable to stop Republicans from changing how and when we vote. They came to D.C. trying to get the U.S. Senate to pass reforms, federal legislation that would override changes to state voting laws.
I'm not up here to take a vacation in Washington, D.C. When I look at the African American Museum, I thought about the struggle that my people fought in this country to get the right to vote. That's right. And that right is sacred to my constituent that I represent back in Houston, Texas.
This trip north has again focused a conversation on the issue, but it remains unclear whether Texas Democrats are really getting anything more than attention. Insiders tell me the Texas Democrats are right now trying to set up meetings with West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin and the Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema. Both of these are Democrats. If you're following the news cycle, the political news cycle, you know both of these Democrats oppose getting rid of the filibuster. If they get rid of the filibuster in the Senate, it only requires a simple majority, of which Democrats have a simple majority, 51 votes, including the Vice President Kamala Harris. Getting rid of the filibuster is the only chance Democrats really have of passing anything remotely controversial like these bills. And right now it's uncertain if those two Democrats, Joe Manchin or Kyrsten Sinema, are interested in getting rid of that political maneuver that might change everything. Chris?
Jason, there's a lot of bits and pieces to this bill. Is there any one particular part that Democrats are most alarmed by?
Yeah, there's just a number of things that they don't like in this bill. Number one is not letting counties decide for their own selves whether to set up 24-hour voting centers, drive-through voting. That might not work out in rural counties in West Texas where there are fewer voters out there, but in large places like Dallas, Fort Worth, in Houston, San Antonio, Austin, where people are working, the third shift and might not be able to vote on the regular hours that we vote, that's certainly an issue. The Democrats also do not like the fact that election workers also are being penalized or will be penalized even more if they make a mistake. I was talking to one of the state senators here, Nathan Johnson from Texas. He came up to give support to House Democrats. He said the one thing he does like in this Republican bill that's getting so much criticism, the one thing he does like, Chris, is the fact that it creates a paper trail. At the end of the day, Republicans still have the numbers. Republicans will most likely still pass this. Chris,
All right. Some great context. Thanks, Jason.